With this video tutorial, we begin our series on configuring specific DID scenarios. In this first tutorial, we will explain how to set up a simple DID scenario, a single DID number sending a call to the Sippy Softswitch, which then routes the call to a single user agent. Here is a simplified business case to illustrate this setup more practically. Imagine that a Sippy operator, referred to here as Sippy, has a client in Germany, a one-person company called OneMan, which uses a soft phone installed on a computer. OneMan wants his single client in the US, whom we will call US caller or simply caller, to reach him via his soft phone through the US mobile carrier. To enable this, Sippy has purchased a DID number +1 212 555 0000 from a DID provider and sold it to OneMan as a monthly subscription. For simplicity, let's also assume the following: the US caller always uses the same PSTN number, +1 212 555 1111, as the calling line identifier, CLI. In our scenario, this will be the only CLI, meaning all calls to the DID will originate from this single number. And OneMan does not require any follow-me configuration in this scenario. Our DID provider connection IP is 203.0.113.25. Our task is to configure the Sippy Softswitch to authenticate, route, and charge these calls. To manage this scenario, we need to create and configure a record in the DID pool. Before proceeding with the configuration, you may review the diagram that shows the nested interdependencies between Sippy Softswitch entities and see which entities need to be created for this scenario. For instance, to assign the account to our DID number, we need to create a routing group and a service plan, and to route the call to the UA, we need to configure the account's incoming routing. In turn, to create a service plan, the tariff and its respective rates need to be created, and so on. You may also use the suggested order of creation and configuration of these entities. Now let's get to configuring our call scenario. First, set up a routing group for our account by going to Routing Groups and clicking Add. Name it OneMan RG. Since we need calls to be routed to the registered UA, it is essential to set Use Connection to default. When set to default, calls are immediately routed to incoming routing and then to the UA or trunk. In our scenario, we need the registered UA option to route DID calls to the UA. Next, set up the service plan. Although the service plan is intended to charge for outgoing traffic and is not needed for DID call charging, it must be created to create an account, and the billing cycle set in the service plan is also used for the selling charging group to bill for DID traffic. First, create a tariff for our service plan, go to the tariff section, click Add New. Name it OneMan Tariff. Ensure the type field is set to tariff. Leave other parameters at default, and click Save and Close. Since we are not assuming any outgoing traffic to vendors, this tariff can be left without rates. Next, create the service plan by going to Service Plan. Clicking Add New, naming it OneMan SP. Setting the billing cycle to weekly and the billing day to Monday, and then pressing Save and Close. With the routing group and service plan ready, create an account for OneMan by going to Accounts, pressing Add Account, naming it OneMan. Selecting OneMan RG as the routing group, OneMan SP as the service plan. Setting some balance and saving. Next, associate this account with a user agent in incoming routing. Since no trunks or other routing options were added, on-net calls remains the only option, which is sufficient. Now, create the entities required for a selling charging group, including an incoming tariff and its rates. Go to Tariff. Add a new incoming tariff. Name it One Man Inc. tariff. Set type to incoming tariff, leave other parameters as default, and save. Open the rates for this tariff. Press Add Rate, assign it to the US caller CLI +1 212. Set price 1 and price N to 1 cent per minute, and save. Next, create a selling charging group named One Man Selling. Ensure type is selling. Select One Man IC tariff as incoming tariff, and save. Then, create a DID provider with a connection, go to Vendors, click Add. Name it DID Vendor USA. Press Save. Then create a connection by opening Connections. Clicking Add. Naming it DID New York. Specifying the IP 203.0.113.25, and saving. Create the buying charging group to account for costs related to DID traffic by adding a new charging group. Selecting Buying as type. Naming it DID, and setting both price 1 and price N to $0.005. Finally, create the DID record in the DID pool. Set type to number, enter the DID number subscribed by One Man, assign the DID to the One Man account. Assign the selling charging group One Man Selling. Select the vendor connection for authentication. And assign the buying charging group DID to calculate charges owed to the DID provider. This completes the tutorial for configuring the DID to user agent scenario. In future tutorials, we will cover more complex scenarios.